Good evening. So welcome to yet another session of the AMA Ask Me Anything sessions, which happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the 57th week. So we have been having this for more than a year right now. Okay, and every week I talk about a topic. Namaste. Okay, every week I talk about a topic, and then it's open to questions. So today's thing is, as I said, it happens every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Today it is, the monsoon has started in different parts of India, especially south. It's been raining really well, and even parts of north it's been raining, and monsoon is setting in everywhere. Okay, so as monsoon sets, there are a few things which we have to take care of, and those are things which we're going to discuss in detail a little bit. Okay, so monsoon regimen in Ayurveda. So this is how it goes. Okay, so monsoon is basically called Varsha Ritu, and in Varsha Ritu, what happens? Okay, in Grishma, in the summer, okay, Vata undergoes accumulation, and when it rains, because of the sudden coolness, the Vata goes up, and because it was really hot, and because it suddenly rains, it becomes Amla Rasa, and Pitta also slowly starts accumulating. So we have got accumulation of Pitta and the increase of Vata during rainy season. So it's not a very good season. Okay, so atmosphere is basically very, very, very damp. So Vata high, because the Vata Prakopa happens, whenever there is Vata, you will see there is a lot of unpredictability. Okay, even appetite is unpredictable, even the motions are not, it's all unpredictable. Everything becomes extremely unpredictable. Okay, so same things happen here also. Your appetite, your Agni is also unpredictable. So digestion is basically not good at all. Okay, so you are not allowed to do fasting during the rainy season. Okay, now what should be the main approach? So sarvam ushna stejanam. Okay, chayat. So everything what you do should be to increase the ushna or the tejas. Okay, the agni of the body. Especially in this thing, the three doshas have to be taken care of. All three doshas are to be balanced. Because vata goes up, pitta is bad, and because of the rain, the kapha is also deranged. So this is a time where the body is very subtle, in the sense it is susceptible to a lot of issues. So taking care during the monsoon season is very, very important. Okay, so sarvam ushna stejanam tiyat. Everything should be to basically work around the agni. Okay, then what? So what all things you have to do? Okay, you have, since as I said, your agni is not going to be very good, so your eating should always be in small quantities. You cannot overeat, even though it is vata is high. When you eat too much of food, that means you're putting in too much of kapha. So that means it controls the vata. But the problem is that because your digestion is not good, okay, you cannot eat that kind of heavy foods to control the vata. So you have to eat on time, mild, okay, in small quantities, and see that the agni doesn't go down. Okay, you're only supposed to take cooked foods. Okay, and nothing wrong, no salads and all those things, because this is the time where, as you know, because when it rains, all infections slowly start coming up, all parasites and worms, and so when you go for salads, it is sometimes, you might have some eggs or some parasites or something on those things which cannot be removed just by washing. So having food which is cooked is the best in the monsoons. Okay, so rice or wheat is fine, absolutely no issues. You can have all the cereals, all the grains, but fresh grains are heavy to digest. So it's always good for you to go for purana dhanya, or thing that is almost a year old. Okay, and whatever vegetable you get around you, seasonal vegetables are all fine. Soup, okay, you can depend a lot on soup for energy. The thing is that soup actually digests pretty fast and it imparts a lot of energy. For that, okay, lean meat. Okay, not the big animals. Lean meat is actually okay, or you can take pulses soup. Okay, then what? Buttermilk is fine. Curd is actually not very good to be consumed in this season. Buttermilk is fine. Buttermilk is, you churn the curd, take the butter out, and what remains is buttermilk. So that is light. Okay. And it is slightly ushna. It is easy to digest. But what you do is you again process it, because I said not to take anything raw. So you process it. When you process it, you can put a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of dry ginger, pepper, and all those things, so that it digests even faster. Okay, so food should be predominantly sour and salty. Why? Okay, see, if you look at the tastes which control vata are sweet, salt, and sour. Okay, these three pacify vata, and the one which increase pitta is sweet, no, is sour, salt, and pungent. I mean spicy food. These three. So what we have to do here is, remember, the thing is that this is a time where the vata goes up and we have to take care of the agni. Okay, so there are three rasas which have got agni in them. That is sour, salt, and spicy food. Okay, but spicy food actually increases vata. So this is cut. Okay, now there are three rasas which actually, so these two rasas are okay. Now there are three rasas which pacify vata: sweet, sour, and salty. But when you take sweet, it is difficult to digest, because, and as I said, the agni is not doing well. So this is also cut. Okay, so what you take predominantly is sour and salty foods during the rainy season, and to control, to get that fire going up, ghee is very good. It also pacifies vata. Okay, so whenever you're drinking something, and it drinks, it could be buttermilk, or it could be water, boiled water also, whatever it is, you can add a little bit of honey so that it easily digests. Okay, and a couple of things which you have to avoid during the season, most importantly, is river water, because river water, all waters from different parts of the land come and fall in the river, and the river extremely polluted or dirty. Avoid river water, both for bathing and for any drinking purpose. Okay, so avoid river water and over physical exertion, because vata anyway is high. Okay, so over physical exertion, too much of exercise, and all those things are also not good. Okay, day sleep is supposed to be avoided, because if you sleep during the day, you feel heavy. Okay, your digestion gets affected. You would have noticed that if you sleep for an hour or so, and after, it's very difficult for you to get up, because your body starts becoming heavy. Okay, diva swapnam snigdham, that means sleeping in the morning, a snigdha increases kapha. Okay, that is also not good. So these are the basic things which you should follow during the monsoon season. You can start asking your questions. Okay, I'll try to answer them. Okay, there are a lot of things that have already come last time. Sorry, I don't know why it didn't get. Namaste, good evening, good evening. Thank you, thank you. Revival of principles of Jaina Ahara Vihara values. I'm bloated all the time with mild headache in the evening. Okay, Priya. So I personally feel that you might also be, as far as food goes, you might be going wrong with food somewhere, or you might be going wrong with your sleep pattern or exercise. If these three things are actually in balance, so a lot of bloating will actually go down, Priya. Okay, just see if those are going. And are you consuming too much of things which are difficult to digest, like paneer, cheese, curd, and all those things on a regular basis? I want you to cut down a little bit, and I want you to do a little bit of physical exercise. And one thing you can do is take half teaspoon of jeera, boil it in 1 liter of water. Okay, that's the proportion. Okay, half teaspoon of jeera to 1 liter of water, and drink that water warm, so that your bloating actually goes down. Okay, sleep early also. Okay, yeah. What can be done to improve the conditions children who have development delays? Okay, development. See, it is, if you have got extreme developmental delays, then it is a medical condition. Otherwise, mild development delays and all those things, kids actually catch up. You might see some kids talk by the age of maybe 8 months to 9 months. Some kids take about 1.5 years, but when they start talking, they actually start talking, and some kids take time for them to walk. Normally we say 1 year, but it can take longer. But if it is delay in the development, I don't think you have to be too worried. See that everything is taken care, in the sense sleep and nourishment of the baby is taken care, and the child has to be basically secure. In the sense, the child should feel secure. The surroundings in which the child is growing should not be hostile. Okay, that is very important. If that is also there, I would say most childs will actually catch up. Okay, delay is absolutely not a problem. But if it is extreme delay, then I think you need medical intervention. Sarvam Ushnam Stejanam Chayat. No, it will see. The thing is that here what happens is pitta accumulation only happens. Okay. And because of extreme vata and because of the cold, kapha is also imbalanced. Okay. So we have see whatever you do, everything you take should be keeping the digestion in mind here. Okay, I hope you're able to understand what the meaning of that is. The sarvam, everything, ushna stejanam, that means the heat of the body, that means the metabolism has to be taken care of. It will not increase the pitta. See, the pitta will actually go up only when you start taking too much of spicy food, or too much of probably, alcohol, or to start doing too much of physical activities and all this, and then not sleeping at night. All those things where pitta will actually get too much of imbalance. But a normal condition is going to be fine. What Acharya means is you have to take care of the Agni. Can you please help me understand how Ayurveda addresses dog bite? Okay, Ayurveda, we do manage, okay, Alarkavasha, but off late, see, we don't get any cases, and I would say, modern science actually manages it really well. For your kind information, you have got anti-rabies vaccinations and all those things. So I would say it is. I don't. I don't think that now I have not seen. Okay, let me tell you very clearly. I've been practicing from '97. That is close to about 28 years. Not even a single patient has come to me with dog bite, and I don't know any of the doctors where the dogs have patients have gone with dog bite, because those things have actually gone down. Spider and all those things people do come. Okay, because it basically it does not kill. It creates a lot of irritation on the skin, and sometimes they go for allopathic treatment. They're not able to manage it, and then they come back. Those things do come back, but I would say anti-rabies and all those managements are doing a great job, and awareness is really good. I would say let us not do that. Even though theoretically, yes, we have studied all those things, but I have not seen a single case coming to me. I think Kamalnath, I have already answered that. Okay, it does not increase the pitta. It basically says, if you look at pitta, let me put it this way then. Okay, if you look at the qualities of pitta, pitta is actually drava or liquid. Okay, but if you look at Agni, okay, tyakta dravatvam, it got all the properties of pitta except the drava quality. So when there is an increase in pitta, when we mean by increase in pitta, it does not mean that it is burning. It basically means that the pitta, the drava quality of the pitta goes up. That means it starts becoming liquefied, and it goes to different parts. So what happens is when there is normally a pitta increase, the appetite actually goes down. Hope you're able to understand that. Okay. Agni going up and pitta going up are two different things. So the pitta, when we say, see, just for example, if you look at jaundice is a disease where the pitta is extremely high and the whole body is slightly yellow because pitta has gone up. But the pitta which is supposed to be in the koshta has gone to the shakhas. Okay. The quantity of pitta has gone up, not the quality. So when you say sarvam ushnaste janam chayat, we mean you are trying to increase to keep the quality of the pitta intact. Okay, Kamalnath. Yeah, okay. Janani, yes, I did mention that I am taking classes for a batch of students who are in the US. Yes, I've been doing that since January 2024, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. Okay, and immediately after that, I come for this live session. So Tuesday, second part of Tuesday is dedicated to what do you call education. So it is basically teaching them Ashtanga Hridayam, and I go shloka by shloka. The first 15 chapters of Ashtanga is what I have promised to teach them. Because there are students who are interested to know how Ayurveda really works, the authentic way of going through it. So I've been taking, I go shloka by shloka. Okay, so that's how I have been. And if I'd say we have gone along with it almost 1.5 years since I've been taking that class. So we're coming to the end of 15 chapters, and I think that's all I've told them. After that, it might not be easy for them to learn or for me to teach also. I can do it, but so it's basically meant for people who want to understand Ayurveda, not superficially, but in depth. Okay, Janani, hope that clears your doubt. Uh, I am Vata dominant person, but I like too much salt roasted peanuts. In Gujarati, we call it as curry sing. What precaution should I take then? Uh, if you are too much of Vata dominant person, I would not recommend that you take too much of groundnuts. Okay, so I know it's cursing. What to you want to eat the peanuts and then what to do, is that your question? I would say it's always as Ayurveda says, nidana parivarjanam chikitsa, avoid the causative factors, because this can actually create a lot of bloating. And one problem with peanut is that even if you eat a little bit, it actually kills your appetite. Okay, and you will not be able to do justice to your normal food. So I would say, if at all you feel like eating, have it along with your food. Probably in between your food, have a few pieces. Don't take it as a snack or something, one katori of thing, and so that it spoils your agni. You cannot do something and then do something to probably work around it. I would say in moderation. Once in a while you eat a little bit, I think that might be okay, but otherwise, as much as possible, avoid it. Drink hot water on top of it, but still it will not help you, I'm telling you. Okay, it's always good for you to cut down on eating too much of peanuts. Deepti. I'm more inclined to sweet, tangy, and bitter foods. Should I go against it, or should I consume food of those tastes? You know, what happens with sweet foods when you take during the rainy season? Sweet. Let me put it this way: sweetened and sweet are two different things. In the sense, rice is sweet, wheat is sweet, ghee is sweet, dal is sweet. Okay, they are sweet by nature. But the thing is that our threshold is so high that we are not able to make out that sweetness. So sometimes for us, sweet means laddu, jalebi, kheer, halwa, and all those things. Those things are not good to be consumed during the rainy season because they can create indigestion. Okay, if that's what your question is. Okay, and bitter foods, yes, in small quantities you can have, but if you take too much of bitter foods, okay, katu tikta kashaya will increase vata beyond a certain limit. But when you are taking that bitter foods, if you can add a little bit of ghee and all those things, you can basically manage it. But I would say too much of sweetened foods, avoid. Okay. Can you make a session on general rules and methods of cooking mentioned in Ayurveda? So Ayurveda, see, there is something called Paka Shastra, okay, where a lot of people of late have written a lot of books, okay, Nalapaka and other books, where they have told how to make certain dishes and all those things. But Ayurveda, I can definitely do a session, but Ayurveda does not, what do you call, focus too much on different kinds of dishes. Even though it says, manda pei vilepi, odhan manda means rice kanji, and thick, how it becomes more and more thicker, and what are the qualities when you start. So it is something which does not give you, if you're okay, let me put it this way. If you're looking for a lot of varieties as far as food goes, I don't think Ayurveda would be the right place. But that doesn't mean that food is not tasty as per Ayurveda. Okay, you it says that you have to use your seasonal vegetables and seasonally available things, and you have to be in sync with nature, and a lot of things even when you cook your food. Okay, and but when it came to books which came after that, there are a lot of dishes which have been told which have been mentioned, uh, which probably you will not see in the Ayurvedic texts. Okay, I'll try to do one for you. Okay, Janani. Deepti. How do we know which vegetables are particular dosha dominant? It's not all root vegetables like carrot, beetroot, or kapha are dominant like potato. Um, Deepti, I would say, yes, carrot and beetroot are kapha dominant. Okay. Most general rule I can tell you. General rule, if you look, if a vegetable which grows under the earth, okay, is predominantly heavy. Okay, it does not get exposed too much directly to wind, heat, air, and all those things. So it is more of prithvi and jala, and it becomes heavy. Carrot, beetroot, potatoes, tapioca, sweet potatoes, colocasia, and all those things are generally heavy. There are exceptions. I can tell you one main exception is surana or elephant yam. Okay, that is something which is lehu due to some other reasons. Okay, so it is something where you don't it does not go too deep into the earth, but it is something which is on the lighter side. But by and large, a general rule is that whichever grows and vegetables whichever grow under the earth are heavy. It does not include turmeric, ginger, and all those things. Okay, because they are basically not vegetables; they are spices, or they are what you call modified stems and not roots. Okay, so and vegetables which basically which are more of bitter are good to control pitta and for cleansing of the blood, rakta shuddhi. Okay, bitter ones are tasty better. So the ones which grow on creepers are actually predominantly bitter. Okay, they've got a bitter taste also, so they are good. So general rule is there, but apart from that there are specifically you might see some exceptions, but these are the general rule. Why in metabolic disorders of thyroid diabetes, why is Ayurveda veggies grown below soil are prohibited for intake? Nay, from Ayurvedic point of view, this is what I said, anything which grows under the earth are predominantly kapha vardhaka, which increase kapha, which that means which can slow your metabolism down. That is the only reason why we say for most metabolic issues, anything that can take longer time to digest has to be cut down. It is not only vegetables which grow under the earth, also curd, cheese, paneer. Okay, overeating also have to be avoided. Deep fry things, all those things which can take a longer time to digest have to be cut down. Okay, that is the reason, Sita. Okay. Your interview making butter was super helpful. Just to confirm, does it churn in one direction only, or is it the one Soundarya? Okay, good that you went through that video. That goes only one way. Okay, even in spite because of the speed in which it goes one way, it's a motorized thing. You would have seen a churner, right? It goes only one way, and you would have noticed. You would have noticed our helper telling how to basically you have to boil it, okay, and see that it slightly becomes yellowish in color, the milk, before you actually cuddle it. Okay, and you have to wait for it to be slightly sour for you to churn and get the butter out of it. Okay, thank you for going through that video. It's basically in Malayalam with English subtitles. How a disease develops in a person, what are the stages in which disease starts and shows symptoms, and when it becomes incurable? Oh, you are getting into too much of theory, Kamalnath. Okay, so I'll let me put it this way. Just like a human life is, the first stage of a human life is kapha dominant, second stage is pitta dominant, and the last stage is vata dominant. A disease also is the same way. Okay, so that's why, and everything starts from basically from something which the body is not able to manage or digest or throw out, and that's what we call as ama. That is why a disease is also called amaya. That means because of ama. That which comes out of ama is amaya, and that's a disease. Okay, so everything starts as a kapha stage, then it goes through the pitta stage, and then it goes through the vata stage. As we treat it, or automatically, if it's a very small condition, it automatically goes from a kapha to a pitta stage, vata stage, and automatically subsides. The body knows how to take care of itself. But if you are treating it, then you have to see that from the kapha stage, you bring it to the vata stage before you actually pacify it. Okay, and there are a lot of conditions which Ayurveda basically says disease is divided into two as per the prognosis. One is sadhya and one is asadhya. Asadhya means what? Incurable. And and sadhya has been divided into two: sukha sadhya, kachar sadhya. Easily curable and curable with difficulty. Asadhya has been divided into two: yapya and anupakrama. Yapya is what sheshatvad ayusho yapya. Pathyabhyasa. The sense sheshatvad ayusho, the remaining part of your life, whichever is there throughout your life, probably like diabetes or something, right? The sheshatvad ayusho, the remaining part of your ayu for your life, you have got the disease, which has to be managed by pathya and medicines. Okay, and the other one is anupakrama, asadhya, not curable. Okay, there are a lot of conditions which Ayurveda says is not curable. Okay, it's not that Ayurveda can cure everything. Sitaram, a rainy season brings a lot of skin infections, dermatitis, intramuscular. Also, this is due to what dosha, vata, pitta, kapha, or mix of all three. See, right now you can see this kerchief here, right? I have also got a mild, probably it could be a viral infection, which I got it from my clinic, because patients come and meet me, they sneeze, they cough, and all those things. In spite of me trying to cover myself with what do you call a mask, it might not be enough. Okay, so this is a time, as I told in the last video, prenanam, so when it rains, Jivanam, Prenanam, Hridyo, Hadi, Buddhi, Prabodhanam. Jivanam, Prenanam. Jivanam is life-giving. Prenanam is nourishing. Those are the basic qualities of water. So it's not only humans or trees or plants that get that. Even the microbes also get all the Prenanam and Jivanam during the rainy season. Okay, and suddenly all of them spring back to life. That is the reason why you get a lot of infections when it rains. But during the summer, hot summer, they were lying dormant. The moment it rains, they start. Okay, so basically what happens is, in the rainy season, okay, all the three doshas are in imbalance. So most of the infections are basically because due to the presence of kapha, due to the presence of humidity. As I said, it is damp outside. It is because of the kapha, and the agni is not strong enough to handle most of the things. So this season, be slightly careful and see that you don't give too much of strain to your digestive system by eating here and there or overeating. You might feel, it is so cold, so let me have a bhaji, a few samosas or vadas. It might basically make you fall sick. Okay. Soundarya. Also, I purchased a traditionally hand churned butter, but it is sour even after multiple water washes. And I wonder if it's safe or is authentic, is if it is that sour. If it is that sour, I don't think it might be actually very good. Okay, because predominantly butter is sweet with a tinge of bitter taste. Bitter taste is, see, it's very interesting. Okay, so when you churn the curd and get the butter out of it, okay, the butter is predominantly sweet, but it is coming from buttermilk, so the buttermilk will also be sticking onto the butter. So that taste, it is predominantly kashaya as a bitter taste. So that could be there in the butter. Apart from that, it cannot be too sour, because when you are churning and the fat is coming out, what remains as buttermilk can be slightly sour and bitter, but not the butter. So the butter might be slightly getting spoiled. I'm not very sure. You should probably check it out. What is the difference between roasted peanuts and boiled ones? Okay, see, roasted one is, I think all of you know that roasted is basically roasting it dry. Okay. Is there a difference? Is your question? Yes. So when you are roasting something, there is always a chance of it becoming lighter. Like even rice, let me tell you, when you see kids, okay, having difficulty in digesting, in the sense small kids, they you give them rice, they're finding it difficult to digest. We roast the rice and then we cook and give the rice. So when you roast something, it becomes lighter. That can actually increase the vata. So when you roasted peanuts will increase the vata more than cooked peanuts, because cooking peanut you have still have got water content in it. That will actually balance the vata a little bit more, because it can also promote kapha. Okay, so these are the major two differences. Roasted peanuts can actually upset your stomach faster than cooked peanut, but don't go overboard. Ritu Ahara during monsoon, a little bit in detail. What are some of the must-haves during the season? Some of the most practiced combinations to be avoided. Jishnu Prasad, see, I have already told you, it is you can, if you are basically from this part of the world, it can be North India or South India, you can have rice or wheat, anything made of rice or wheat. But I don't want it to be deep fried. Like puri and all, once in a while you have is fine, but it is not very good because it takes time to digest. So chapatis are fine. You can also cook rice or cook wheat and have, okay, broken wheat. So rice or wheat is basically okay, but not in excessive quantities. Okay, and whatever seasonally available vegetables you can have. Okay, what else do you want? And what, say, most importantly, whatever food you have, you should mix a little bit of ghee inside that and have. And don't eat multiple times. Eat decently well, probably twice or thrice a day. And this is the time where the vata goes up. More than the food you eat, you should focus a lot on your lifestyle. You can't go up and do a lot of traveling during this time. Probably if your work demands travel, I can't tell you anything. But by and large, this is the time where you have to avoid a lot of travel, and this is the time where you have to avoid not sleeping at night. Also, you have to sleep early, reduce exercises, applying oil all over the body, waiting for some time, and taking a shower in warm water, not hot water, is also good for you. So foods, whatever you're used to eating foods, you can have. Okay, I would not say that you should go for too much of fermented foods like idli or dosa, because in the presence of fermented food is not something which sits well with digestion, actually speaking. And in the presence of black gram, it becomes not so easy to digest. Okay, eat foods which will digest pretty fast. Okay, whatever your traditional food you can have. Okay, but don't take too much of spicy and deep fry foods. See, I just finished that, Jishnu. I don't want to encourage anything. Okay, I want you also to start thinking. Rice is something which you can have, and if you are some Jishnu Prasad, I don't know where you are from. Okay, if you are from the north, you can have kadhi. Kadhi, you call that processed buttermilk, right? In Tamil Nadu, you call that more koramba. You can have. Okay, so anything, rasam you can have, rasam which is slightly not too spicy, rasam which is, that's the reason why this season people make nellika rasam. Okay, rasam they make with gooseberry. So and they add salt into it, so the people start becoming very innovative. And season wise, so I think you can have whatever you want to have. You can have rice kanji for breakfast. Okay, you can have poha for breakfast. You can add milk into poha and have. Okay, but only see that it is cow's milk and not buffalo's milk, because it becomes too heavy. Okay, so anything you feel that can digest pretty fast is okay. Okay, nothing sweetened. He's not told don't take sweet. Okay, rice is sweet, as I said, wheat is sweet. See that it digests fast. Is there a possibility that Rasayana Dravya won't suit in someone at all? Example, mercury in Aragovardhanavati, etc., causes sudden drop in BP. Disease patients has no problem. Gastro specifically. Uh, See, people might be allergic to a lot of things, but The reason why, Sitaram, why you are living itself is because rasayana is happening in your system. Okay, rasayana is basically the travel of the rasa dhatu, the essence of, or the nourishment part of your food. Just because it is traveling all around your body, only you are still alive. And that travel, rasa ayanam, ayanam means travel. That travel of the rasa throughout the body is rasayana. Okay, so there is no way somebody will be 100% allergic to rasa, then he's already gone. Okay, so mercury is rasa. Okay, yes, mercury can, some people can be allergic to mercury, and mercury probably, if the shuddhi, or if the cleansing of mercury has not been done properly, also people can get problem, uh, yes, you can have issues. So if you feel that mercury is creating a problem in somebody, then I would say you can avoid that. Okay, but rasayana dravya, rasayana, even milk is rasayana, ghee is rasayana. Okay, rice is rasayana. Anything you eat basically which can actually nourish you is all rasayana. Is Jain food Ayurvedically correct? There is nothing like which is not Ayurvedically correct or Ayurvedically incorrect. Non-veg Ayurvedically correct? Non-veg is Ayurvedically correct. Because if you look in the rainy season, they have told you can have soups of lean meat. He's not told you to eat meat because meat can cause indigestion. So make a soup and drink. So nothing is right or wrong. In colder seasons, he's asked you to consume alcohol in small, diluted alcohol in small quantities. So where does it go wrong? See, if you look at Ayurveda basically tells you to follow things which are good for your health. There is no morality here. I'm making that very clear. Okay, whatever is good for your health, you can follow. Okay, he says curd is not good for regular consumption. That doesn't mean that you should completely avoid curd, but there are restrictions. Okay, so Jain food cannot be wrong. Okay, see, if you look at what all food, Jain food is right, non-veg food is right, veg food is right, vegan food, anything. If you look at from the Ayurvedic, from the Tridosha point of view, you should know how to work around it. That's all. Like humans, animals are made of Panchamahabhuta. Then why during disease state is advised stop taking fish? Please help us as per Ayurveda. Um, we don't, there are no hard fast rule that you have to avoid fish. But especially, yes, in skin conditions, you have been asked to avoid fish. But if you look at Vamana, during treatment, there's a therapy called Vamana. The previous day of the Vamana, you have been asked to take fish. Okay, so to increase the kapha. Okay, so by and large, there are no hard fast rules here, Sitaram. But let me tell you, certain things can actually irritate you. There are trigger factors. But in a normal conditions, rohitaka fish, the red colored fish, I don't know what, salmon fish or something, no, that is considered to be pathya and can be consumed on a regular basis. Okay, but when you are sick and there are certain things which can trigger that, that is when we say avoid this, avoid that, avoid that, because jangala mamsa or lean meat is something which you can have on a daily basis. It is pathya. His acharya is not told don't eat. But if you are sick and your agni is low, then you have to avoid certain things which will interfere with your metabolism, and it can slow down your journey back to health. Hope it is clear. Sunita. Recently, I came across Rektashali. I was told it's nutritionally high and a variant of Nyavara rice. Yes. Okay. Rektashali or the red rice. Okay, red rice is it is not as potent as Nyavara, but the difference of Rakta Shali and Nyavara is normally which comes in 60 days and it is consumed fresh. Okay, and that's why it is used for treatments, because it is used fresh. It can increase kapha beyond a certain limit. So when during the monsoons, people normally take Nyavara rice, but the thing is that you should not take Nyavara rice beyond a certain limit, because it can again cause indigestion. But that is not the case with Raktashali. Okay, the red rice. Red rice, normally the rice, whichever rice we take, the rice which has been kept for a year. Okay, but Nyavara is not kept for a Nyavara or Shali Shastika. Okay, Shastika 60. Okay, so Shali, which is 60 days old, that is Shali Shastika, that is Nyavara. That is used fresh because for treatment purposes. But otherwise, I would say, Raktashali, all grains and all those things, if kept for a year, becomes Pathya. What does Ayurveda say about fasting, particularly intermittent fasting? Also, is there a cure for Raynaud's syndrome in Ayurveda, please? Okay. So, Raynaud's syndrome is something which is not an easy condition. I would say it's always good for you to go for a detailed consultation. Okay. Now, coming to fasting. Okay. Krishna Panikar. Intermittent fasting is not something which has been told in Ayurveda, but if you look at the concept of intermittent fasting, they say that you have to give a lot of gap after eating. Okay. And normally, if you look at Ayurveda says only eat twice. That means once in the morning, once in the evening. And after you eat in the evening, there's a lot of gap before you eat the next day. So Ayurvedically speaking, intermittent fasting, even though they have not given the word intermittent fasting, it is actually that you give a lot of gap before the next food is being consumed. But somewhere, what I feel where intermittent fasting is going wrong is that they don't focus on the sleep part of it. Okay, they say you have to probably have your dinner early, maybe 6 o'clock or so, and then you sleep at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. That doesn't sit well with Ayurveda. In the sense, if you have your dinner at about 6:30, by about 8:39, your food is digested and gone, and then you're still awake till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Your metabolism restarts, and you sometimes feel hungry, but you have decided not to eat. So what happens to the Agni that is started? It will actually start taking the nourishment from your system. So I've seen a lot of cases of intermittent fasting. Initially, they feel great, but after a point in time, there is a huge dip in energy because they are not doing it the right way. So intermittent fasting, the concept is right, okay, but I think somewhere you have to tweak it a little bit so that it suits you better. Okay. Okay, Jishnu. Moringa is something which we say, especially during the Karkadaga Masam, okay, the month which is coming from July 15th to August 15th. We say, what happens with these leaves is you'll have a lot of spores and insects and things and all those things on the leafy vegetables. So it's always good for you to slightly avoid these during the rainy season. But if you can make sure that you can cook it really well, then they might be okay. But textually, it says, not so good to have during the rainy season. There are so many rice varieties available these seasons. How to choose? How to transition to non-polished rice? See, generally, one thing you should understand is what rice are you used to, or the other way around. What rice are you genetically used to? In the sense, your father, grandfather, great grandfather. I think that should be the best rice that suits you. There are a lot of rices available. If you throughout the world, if you go to Vietnam also, they are a rice eating country. Japan is a rice eating country. You will find a lot of different kinds of rices, but those rice are different from the rice which we are used to eating. So eat rice which you are used to eating. Okay. And transition to non-polished rice. So mostly in Kerala, all of us have non-polished rice only. We call that parboiled rice. You can have it if you feel it is okay, but for that, you're probably you have to get used to it. If you're slowly transitioning it, I would say, don't all of a sudden don't move into it. Quarter by quarter, slowly start moving into it. Maybe eat it once a week, then eat it twice a week, then eat it thrice a week, then slowly start increasing it. That's it. You can slowly transition. I think you should be fine. Okay. Usually, Jishnu, we say, moringa leaf is something which traditionally, even though we don't see it specifically in the text, traditionally, grandmother, great grandmother, all of us say, Karkadaga Masathil Muringela Kadikkirathu. They say don't eat moringa leaf during the peak rainy season. Okay, they don't say why. Okay, so normally at home also, even our maid who makes food for us, she's very particular that she doesn't cook with moringa leaves and the other things. Yes, we have to really wash it really well and have it. But I think it is fine for you to have pumpkin leaves. The tender leaves are the only ones you can have, not the what do you call mature one. The tender leaves, yes, you can have, no problem. But you should wash it really well. Okay, I would say take a little of warm water, put turmeric, soak the leaves for some time. Whatever spores and all those things will fall off. Most of them will fall off, and cook really well. And Ayurveda says whenever you are cooking a leafy vegetable, okay, note this point. Whenever you're cooking a leafy vegetable, you add lots of water. The Ayurveda says asks us to drain the water away. Okay, don't ever think, oh, am I losing all the nutrition? Probably you might be losing a little bit of nutrition. Let it go. Drain all the water. Add more of ghee and have it. Okay, that's the way Ayurveda asks you to eat leafy vegetables. Too many questions today. Last time I don't know why I did not refresh at all. If there is no moral narrative, why do my parents never give me eggs or meat and just give me normal desi food? That you should ask your parents. Okay, your parents have not lived by Ayurveda. Ayurveda is just a one part of our life. As I would say, if your condition demands, in the sense, Ayurveda does not say you just go and eat meat or eat eggs or all those things. If that condition demands, or if you need that for your health, hope I'm making it very clear. If that needs, then you can go and take it. Ayurveda does not say, oh, that is bad, so don't take it. It does not take a moral high stance in those conditions. If your health demands it, then you can take this thing. I think you should ask your parents. And it doesn't mean that eating eggs or eating meat is actually healthier than eating vegetables and fruits and staying healthy. Okay, say for example, I'm a pure veg. I've survived milk. Yes, I do take. I've survived on all these things. Okay, without meat. And even when we fall sick, also we don't have to. It's a choice whether you want to go for that or not. Probably, if I'm extremely weak, if I take bone soup or if I take animal soup, I might recover within might be a week. Or if I go only for pulses, it might take me 10 to 14 days. Okay. Personally, all the models are which I have got. Okay. So I probably would choose that route than this route. It's your call. It's your call. You can try it out. It's your call. If you're not used to, the body will take some time for the body to get used to it. And I would say, let me put it this way: if a hardcore vegetarian, traditionally they're vegetarians, I would not tell them to suddenly stop. I do not tell them to be a vegetarian or a vegan or something. It is not, because the body is so used to it. Okay, genetically also. So I would say, if you want, you can just cut down a little bit. I would not tell them to completely change their diet completely. Okay, no, I would not tell that. For a person who is used to drinking milk and getting energy from, if I tell him, his parents used to drink milk, grandparents used to, great grandparents, all of them used to, and suddenly, so when you look at his body structure, it is used to milk. I would not tell him cut down on milk and all those things. So same thing, I can't add a person who's a pure veg, who's always eating veg. I can't tell him you will get energy from non-veg. He might not get sometimes because his body is tuned to vegetarian food. So it's your call. Try it out. I don't think it's bad, but check it out. How many days would Panchakarma treatment take, please, minimum? Krishna Panikar. It all depends upon whether you have got any issue or not. Depending upon the issue, if severe skin issues, sometimes it might take 28 days. Severe joint issues and all those things, 21 to 28 days. Or if you don't have any problem, or you are just coming to cleanse yourself, body, and do a little bit of rejuvenation and all those things, I would say first time when you're coming, it would be good if you give us a minimum of 14 days. So we get enough time to basically get all the toxins from the other parts of the body getting into your mainstream, and then to just give us 14 days. Okay. How long does it take Punyavara to cook? Got one from Tamil Nadu state, and it takes at least 45 minutes. What we do is, Soundarya, I'll tell you. What you got from Tamil Nadu also might be genuine, but if you notice that the rice is slightly big, what we do is we slightly hit it in the one run in the mixie and we break it. Okay, once you break it, it's easily cookable. Okay, yes, it will take a minimum of 20 to 25 minutes. Don't worry at all. 45 minutes may be slightly on the higher side. Okay, also look at the kind of water you have added. If it is hard water, it can take longer to cook. Friend said Kodumbuli is better than tamarind. In our home, we use tamarind. Is one of this better than the other? Okay, so Kodumbuli or the one which is basically used by non-vegetarians to cook when they cook fish. Okay, so Kodumbuli and the other one is called Valambuli. It is not about one is better than the other. Okay, but now listen to this careful, Kamalnath. When Ayurveda talks about tamarind, it says that tamarind is very sharp and it is very hot. Okay, so in those days, people after the tamarind harvesting, they'll remove the tamarind or the pulp and all those things. They used to crush it, beat it with a little bit of salt. They used to roll it and keep it for a year before they start using it. So tamarind, we call that pare puli, we call it old puli, old tamarind. Old tamarind is actually sour, but it does not create so much of issues. Old tamarind is best. Okay. If you look at which is better, I would say old tamarind is better than Kodumbuli. Does consuming parboiled rice increase aches and pains? I don't think so, Kavil, because I have been consuming, or probably most people in Kerala have been consuming parboiled rice since birth. We are used to it. So for us, I don't think it will actually increase aches and pains. Okay. If you are not used to, I don't know if it can lead to indigestion and bloating and gas and all those things, you can get aches and pains. But otherwise, I don't think. What is the reason behind draining the water in which green leaves are cooked? The reason is basically, as I said, the same thing, when you actually boil, leafy vegetable, in my opinion, is not safe to consume as such. You see a lot of people eating lettuce and that and all those things raw. But most of the infections, worm infestations, and all those things can come from leaves. So when you put turmeric and boil the whole vegetable, and then when you drain the water out, it becomes extremely what I call sterile. You lose all the spores from it. In boiling water, and if you put turmeric and boil, most of the spores will get detached from the leaves. Okay, and if you're talking from the nutritional part of it, probably you might lose about 30%, 40% of the nutrition. But that, in my opinion, if you keep on having leaf consistently for some time, you will definitely get that nutrition. Okay, I'm not the kind of person who's too worried, when you cook rice or you cook some pulses and you're draining the water away, or you're losing all the nutrition. I'm not extremely bothered about it. Okay, because I know that whatever I get from the pulses is enough for me. Or if I have it continuously for 4 days or maybe a couple of times a week, I will get what I want. So draining the water is basically to make it safe for eating. Most welcome, Soundarya. It all goes to him. Okay, it's all his grace, Soundarya. Okay, okay, Kamalnath. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I think today I have completed all the questions. No more, I suppose. Yes. So we come to an end of the session, and next week we'll see with some other session. Okay. Good night.